Hello and welcome. My name is Alex Romero from GASB Learning Solutions. On this week's Genuine Learning blog, we will be looking at the technical question and answer 6950.25 that was issued by the AICPA addressing a change in funds from major to non-major for state and local governments. So TQ&A 6950.25's full title is Auditor Opinion Considerations when a fund was previously reported as major. So this technical Q&A was issued November 19th, 2024. And a little background as to why we have this question and needed an answer is that GASB Statement 100, Accounting Changes and Error Corrections, requires that a change in a fund's classification, for instance, a fund transitioning from major to non-major, be reported by adjusting the beginning fund balances and presenting the restatements in the current period's financial statements. In the year of this reclassification, a column must be added to the fund activity statement showing only the beginning balance and the related adjustments for the previously major fund. And this is going to be without any current year activity. So the question that came up from this guidance was, if a governmental entity's XYZ fund was reported as a major fund in the preceding year and is now going to be a non-major fund, so we're going from major to non-major, to comply with GASB 100, the entity needs to present a column for the XYZ fund in the current year's statement of revenue, expenditures, and changes in fund balance. Now that includes the beginning balance as previously reported, and then the aggregate amount of adjustments to or restatements to that beginning fund balance. What opinion unit would the additional column for this XYZ fund be part of in this current year statement of revenue, expenditures, and changes in fund balance? So that's the question. What opinion unit are we going to have this information in that we went from major to non-major? So just as a reminder, the AICPA Audit and Accounting Guide for state and local governments specify that an opinion unit is governmental activities, it's business type activities, then you have the aggregate of discretely presented component units, then we have each major governmental and enterprise fund, and then the aggregate of those remaining funds. So our non-major governmental funds and enterprise funds, those internal service funds, and our fiduciary funds. So really, the question here is what opinion unit with the column for the beginning balance plus or minus those adjustments or restatements of that previously major fund transitioning into the current year to a non-major fund be a part of? Well, this additional column showing the previously reported major fund should be part of the aggregate remaining fund information opinion unit. However, this column is only going to show the adjustments to or restatements to the previous major fund, not current year activity. Only adjustments looking at the beginning fund balance. The current year activity will be part of the non-major governmental funds column. Additionally, if you want there to show more information about what funds are major in the current reporting year, the auditor can list each of those major funds in the opinion section of their independent auditor's report. You would then clearly see that your XYZ fund is no longer listed as one of the major funds. While this question and answer isn't very complex, I do think it's helpful to see an example to understand what this TQ&A is stating. So here we have a column for the previously major fund, XYZ fund, and it's showing the beginning fund balance as previously reported and the adjustments to the beginning balance. There is no current year activity, and you can see that in the top section of this statement. The activity, this column is now in compliance with GASB 100. Also for this year, the XYZ fund activity is going to be part of that column next to it, the aggregate remaining fund information opinion unit, the non-major governmental funds column. We do have a link to this TQ&A in the comments below, and I'd just like to thank you all for joining me today as we explored how to report a fund on the face of the financial statements that was previously a major fund and is now a non-major fund. Thank you.